Hey everyone, we're going to do a quick XMD hair tutorial. I was asked how I went about creating the hair for this character. So instead of trying to find some other online hair tutorials, I'll just make a quick one. I'm using the model I was asked about. So the hair here, again, was done using XMD hair curves. Pretty straightforward and simple. Doesn't take a lot of time to set up, but it does take a little bit of time to shape. So I'm just going to select my polyframe here and just take off the line so that you can see each one of those shapes or colors was a different curve that I created to start building up the hair. So that's what I'm going to show you now. So we're going to open up our light box. We're just going to grab, say, the animation demo head real quick, and I'm going to pretend that this character has a lot of detail and he has multiple subdivisions. If you have lots of multiple subdivisions, most of the curves won't work, so you always got to make sure that you have no subdivisions. So again, my workflow, if this guy had a lot of character and detail, I'm just going to duplicate that and hide the original. And we're ready to go. So we're going to go to Z plugin, and we're just going to open up our XMD. And once that's open, you can go to your little search and type in hair. Hit enter. And I'm just going to grab the first one on the list for this tutorial. Now I'm only going to make about 3 strands of hair. You guys can make more if you want, just enough so that you guys can kind of see my workflow. I'm going to grab the first hair, and I'm going to click off symmetry because I don't want to create both on the same model on both sides. So we're ready to begin. The one thing you got to keep in mind is depending on which way you want your hair to go. If you want the larger part or the wider part of the hair on top, you're going to have to start from the bottom. So we're going to move that up, create a curve, see how that we have our hair larger on the top and smaller on the bottom. Different brushes work differently depending on what's involved in as far as geometry. So I'm going to make my hair a little bit wider, and we're going to grab our first line, or the start of our line, just on the cheek, and we're going to come over, and we're going to do kind of like a 3-curve comb over for this character. So that's not bad. What I can do now is I can move it around while still active on the curve. So we can move it around just like that. Now the other important thing to remember when you're working with curves is that you can't just go ahead and create a new curve right away, especially if this one is still active. If I did that, see how it overwrites? So you always want to make sure that you click off when you're happy with the first curve so that we can create the second one. So we're going to go just above the ear, and we're just going to go around to there. Now that one didn't make it quite as long as the other one, so don't panic. It's really easy to extend. You're just going to grab your cursor, and you're going to wait till this little red line jumps to that little circle that you see, that little white circle. See that little jump? So once that's done, you can just hold your left mouse and you can extend your line. Still not quite long enough, so little red line, extend. Sometimes you got to extend more than one section. There you go. So now we can go back here and we can pull this down a little bit. And we can move our whole hair in different sections on the little curve. Alright, so again, deselect your active curve, and we're ready to make a new one. And this will be the last one. I don't want the tutorial to be too long because it's not a lot of new information. So once you get the hang of it. So that curve was a little too small, so I'm just going to make it a little bigger again. Little red line. And we can move this up. And we can grab this from the bottom again. So that's pretty much everything I did for the hair. It took a while just to layer it. And I'll show you a couple little things you can do just to make your hair look a little bit more realistic in a second. Well, stylized realistic, that is. Just going to move this over a bit more. And just pull it to about there. So now that you're, say, got your full head of hair here, or your hair going wherever you need it to go, we can go in there and we can shape it a bit more. So to do that, what I usually do is deselect my hair first. I'm going to mask off my character's head, bring back the hair. Where you see split, just going to go split mask sections. Now you can delete that low res head if you want. Doesn't really matter at this point. I usually keep it around until the very end just in case I need to change anything. And we can go in and we can start selecting each of these hair strands individually. Make sure you have polyframe selected. You're going to shift control our front hair, and we're just going to mask over it. Control shift again to bring back both of our hair, and then just control one time. And what we can do now is we can start shaping. So you're going to go to your move, and you see how I like the move tool a little bit better than the curve when I'm building it, just because I have a little bit more control. And yes, I still use a mouse. I know I'm a little bit archaic that way. So we can start moving things around and really nailing our shape. And this is when reference comes into play. Definitely have photographs and stuff of the hairstyle that you want while you're working. So now I can just deselect. I can go to our second head, shift or control, mask off, shift control to bring everybody back, and then control one more time again. And we can move this down. So we can move that a little closer and down just a little bit. Up a little bit, and last but not least, one more. So just control shift, mask, you can deselect everybody now and just pull in the very front part a bit. And that's it. That is pretty much how I built the whole hair on the 3D print girl. And now that you can go in and you can go to your geometry, you can divide your hair up, you can duplicate it, you can layer it. The girl does have a little bit of layering, so say this is the very closest part of the hair to the head. I'd shape it a little bit, then I would duplicate the whole thing, and then I can shape on top of that. That's how I got some really nice depth into her hair as well. And that's it. So again, really quick tutorial, nothing fancy. Again, more time consuming than anything else once you have the hair placed. And I hope you guys learned a little bit from it. So talk to you guys soon. Take care.